For all of recorded history, one number has only moved in one direction. The global population, up, decade after decade, century after century. That number is about to do something it has never done in the modern era. It is going to peak, and then it is going to fall. The United Nations projects the world population will reach approximately 10.3 billion in the mid-2080s. Then, it begins to decline. For the first time in modern history, humanity may grow old before it grows richer. And here is what most people do not realize. For 1 in 4 people on Earth right now, that future has already arrived. More than 60 countries have already peaked in population. Italy, Japan, Russia, China, their populations are shrinking right now. Today, in parts of rural Japan, entire schools have closed, not from policy, but because there are no children left to fill the classrooms. Abandoned homes across the Japanese countryside now sell for the price of a used car. Nobody wants them. Nobody is left to live in them. To understand why this is happening, you need one number, 2.1. That is the fertility rate required for a population to replace itself, roughly 2 children per woman, accounting for those who do not survive to adulthood. In 1950, only 4 countries on Earth were below that number. By 2026, it is 136. 136 countries, representing the overwhelming majority of the world's population, no longer produce enough children to replace themselves. South Korea's fertility rate has fallen to 0.78, the lowest ever recorded for a major economy. China's workforce is projected to shrink by tens of millions of people by mid-century. Across Europe, retirements now outpace new workers entering the labor force. India, still the world's most populous country, sits just below replacement and falling. This is not a developing world problem or a wealthy world problem. It is a global trajectory. A civilization built for growth is quietly learning what contraction feels like. So why does this matter beyond the headline? Because the entire architecture of the modern economy was built on one assumption: population growth, pension systems, healthcare funding, tax bases, housing markets, consumer demand, GDP growth itself. All of it assumes a growing base of working-age people supporting a smaller number of dependents. That assumption is now reversing. By 2080, the number of people aged 65 and over will exceed the number of children under 18 globally. The system was built for a pyramid. By the mid-2030s, just a few years from now, the number of people aged 80 and over will exceed the number of infants being born. It is becoming a column. And here is where this story connects to something we have covered before. In an earlier video, we explored how artificial intelligence is replacing jobs that exist. This is the inverse. In many of the world's largest economies, there may soon not be enough people to do the jobs that need doing, regardless of what AI replaces. Hospitals without enough nurses, factories without enough workers, aged care facilities without enough staff for an aging population that is, by definition, growing. This is not robots taking jobs from people. This is robots taking jobs nobody is left to do. And when a civilization runs out of workers, it has only the 3 options: accept economic decline, import labor, or build replacements. Robots. In 2025, More than 45,000 humanoid robots were installed worldwide across manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare. The humanoid robot industry is projected to grow nearly five-fold before the end of the decade. Bank of America projects that by 2060, humanoid robots could outnumber cars on Earth. China and South Korea have both launched national strategies explicitly designed to accelerate humanoid robot development, treating robotics the way countries once treated steel, or semiconductors, or oil. Japan is positioning itself to become the dominant global supplier of robotics by 2040, driven not by ambition, but by necessity. There are reportedly hundreds of thousands of unfilled industrial jobs in Japan right now, with no workers available to fill them. And the fastest-growing segment of the humanoid robot market is not factories. It is companionship and elder care. In some nursing homes, the only voice some elderly people hear each day may not belong to another human being. It will belong to a machine. For a growing share of the world's elderly population, the alternative may not be a human caregiver. It may be no caregiver at all. This creates a new kind of global competition, not over oil fields, not over microchips, over the machines that will run the economies of nations that no longer have enough people to run them themselves. But population decline is not universal. Sub-Saharan Africa's population is projected to grow by nearly 80% by 2050, reaching over 2 billion people. Immigration is projected to be the primary driver of population growth for more than 50 countries through 2054, including the United States, Canada, and Australia, which means the countries that age fastest will increasingly compete for the same shrinking pool of working-age migrants from the parts of the world still producing them. Demographics is becoming a geopolitical resource, not unlike oil, not unlike chips, not unlike power grids. So what does this mean for you? If you hold technology or industrial ETFs, robotics and automation are no longer a speculative future theme. They are a response to a demographic reality that is already locked in for the next 30 years. Healthcare systems, pension funds, and government budgets across the developed world are being quietly redesigned around a population curve that has already turned. And the two largest forces shaping the next several decades, a shrinking human population and an expanding machine workforce, are not separate stories. They are the same story. For the first time in history, humanity is entering an era where machines may become economically essential, not because humans failed, but because there are not enough humans left. For 200 years, economic growth assumed one thing: more people, every year, forever. That assumption has ended, and the system's response is not more humans, it is more machines. The world is running out of people, and for the first time in history, civilization is building replacements. Subscribe to AxisShift, because the world is turning, and you should know which way.